Hi, my name's Winton here with Tri-County Locksmith Service, and we just opened up this 2020 Terrain for Emily here. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with me today?
It was amazing. It's a Sunday. He was the only one open, and he came quick and on time, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Hey everyone out there, just trying to get caught up and back into this documentary, and that's what I'm going to be going over here shortly. Did have a lot of time down for my back surgery. I can tell you, wow, I felt better than I've felt in the last 15, maybe even 18 years. So back surgery definitely worked for me. I'm up, I'm moving, I'm twisting, I'm bending, I'm doing all of the things that I haven't been able to do in so very long, and we're about a month out now, maybe a little bit more, and it's amazing. So for anybody who has any questions on how I'm doing after back surgery, that is it. The other thing that I was able to do while I was out for back surgery is I was able to start going back in and really start finding a lot of that content that we had and that I've been collecting over the last over a decade, if you will, and really start integrating that into the documentary and start being able to chop it up and edit it and put it into useful format. Anybody that knows me knows that I have a ton of videos out there. Even with the amount of videos that I have out there, which is thousands, that's probably only about 25% of what I've actually captured and filmed, which is just sitting waiting to be edited. So that is what is happening now. So I'm very thankful for that gift. My back surgery was actually the best thing that ever could have happened. It made me slow down. It made me focus on this, and it made me start putting other priorities ahead of just, being out in the field and working and, just grinding until you feel like you're going to die one of these days, which, those crazy 10, 12, 14-hour days will do. That's what happens. So with that being said, one of the things that I do, and we're going to get into some of that other work, but one of the things that I do is I actually work with manufacturers, and you're going to see that here. We do beta testing. Leashy, the original Leashy Tools, has sent me Leashy tools to do beta testing on. Do you like it? What would you change? What are your thoughts? This, that, and the other. And then we provide feedback for manufacturers like that. I also get product to show demos on how to install it. I mean, obviously the manufacturer is going to have their own videos, and that's great. Those are going to get accessed by the people who are following that channel or that particular brand. But if they want to get their brand in front of a new audience or new people, they're going to need people like me to be able to say, hey, I have this audience built. People trust my brand of information and education that I put out there. Here's my take on it. And then we take it away from the factory, because what's the factory doing? They're selling a product. They're not going to ever say anything bad about it. It's going to work flawlessly no matter what, even if it's installed improperly. And it's going to be fantastic no matter what light you shine on it. That's all fine and dandy. That's their job. They have to do that. When we actually get the product and we put it on a real world situation, on a real field door that's been out in service for the last 40 years, and we install a door closer or a piece of hardware on there, that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's what we're going to go do. So come check this out. We're going to do some factory installs, and then we're going to do a couple other things too, and we'll just kind of jump back into the whole documentary thing. I'm super pumped, super energized for this. So happy to be back. So happy to be feeling good. And here we go. We're ready to go. So enjoy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you here in just a few minutes. If you're interested in sponsoring and supporting the channel, there will be a link below for you to invest. Also, this is sponsored by Lab Inc. for this portion. Okay, so this is a key and knob cylinder, and this is actually a cutaway, so we can actually see how everything's working in here. Notice how the key goes in, and you can watch the pins actually move. Now you notice these little dark lines? Those are going to be the shear line for this. See if we can really zoom that in. Okay, so all those little dark lines, that is the actual shear line, okay? So how do we get this lock apart? Well, as long as we have the cylinder out of a lock housing, we can use one of these picking tools. This is a pick decoding tool. You can also use regular conventional lock picks. but I kind of like using these because we can actually decode the lock and cut a key for it. So what I'm going to do is get up real up close and personal here, and I'm going to let you see exactly how we're picking this lock. See how that's fairly springy? Okay, it springs back. That is the number 6 chamber. That is not going to be our setting pin for now. Okay, same thing here. It bounces up and down, and you can see it just bounces up and down. That is not our binder. Next, number 3, Piggly Wiggly, not our binder either. Okay, still springy. Number, let's see here. That one, not real happy either. Not real happy. So which one is our binder here? I have to apply a little more tension. And now we've got the 5th. See the 5th chamber? That is now set. Notice it's like dead now, okay? It doesn't spring up here like it did before. It's kind of dead because it's actually trapped at the shear line here. Okay? It's trapped up in there. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of running the gauntlet back and forth until it turns over. I'm sorry if my finger's getting in the way. There it goes. Okay, so now we have officially picked this lock, and we can pull the pick out. Okay, so this would be a great method for getting the door or getting the cylinder out of a lever or off of a door. Now that we have it in this position, we can then go ahead and use our tools. If you have a cap screw tool, I don't know if the cap screw tool is going to work on this particular cap screw. I do not think it does. But we will definitely need our follower. So I'll just use something to push the detent down. There's our little detent. There. And pull this out. Okay, so this is for a lock that we had no idea what the key was for it. I'm going to dump everything out in this little position right here. If you can see that, great. Now it's already pushed over in the 90-degree position. I can use either side. I'll probably choose to use this round side for round side. I could use this side, and it wouldn't hurt anything. However, if I rotated the follower, the springs could possibly fall through here. So I want to eliminate any chance of that happening. So now we have the cylinder in hand, just like this, and we'll get our new key. Okay, we have our new key. See what fits, see what doesn't fit. Oh, and that key actually looks like it works. Beautiful. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so we found the key for this particular one. I'm going to put this back together for you. Just giving you an example of how to pick a lock to get it open so that you have the possibility or opportunity to rekey it if that's what is required. Now we put everything back together, push the detent down, back it off one, try our key, and voila, everything is working. So there you have it. This portion of the documentary is brought to you by Freeman Manufacturing. All right, so we got lots of issues going on with this door here. We've got a double door operator that doesn't really work very well because you've got an overlap here, and that side tries to take off. There's a lot of problems with this door. We've got latching doors with a bunch of flush bolts. We also have the Historical Society to deal with here, and they do not want to have anything. We can't really alter the doors and put anything on the outside. So one of the first things that you can see, this door's just freaking out right now. And then even if it were to come shut, it wouldn't matter because it's going to run right into the other one. So the big plan is, let's get these hinges working. We're going to hinge doctor both sides, get those hinges pulled back, get this bottom pulled up, and try and get things lined up this way a little better. Then we're going to disconnect that operator on this side because it's not helping, it's not really doing anything. The other thing that we're going to need to do is make sure that these align up a little bit better. And then this flush bolt, you can see going into the ground here, it doesn't actually line up. I'm going to just have to override this door here to get that to quit being so ridiculous. So we need to fix that so that we can push that flush bolt down into that hole, because this one's no longer going to work. And that's what we have going on here. Alright, so first things first, we got to get this door operator under control because he just keeps freaking out and opening the door. And then we got to get this pin drilled down so that it can hold that door in place. And then I'm actually going to disconnect this side from up here, right there at that arm. Okay, now that we got that arm removed, here, put this screw back in so we don't lose anything, and then that'll solve the problem of this door getting out of control until we can figure out how the programming works and we could actually deactivate this one side. But for right now, this is where I want to start. Pull these screws out here too. Pull those screws out, and then just move the arm out of the way where it's safe. Okay, so we're noticing some more problems here. Let's see if we shake the door. It moves the whole thing, and you can see these large cracks. So what I'm going to do is put screws in this way to try and help stabilize that. You can see how it's moving the whole side. Watch, we're trying to put this together here.
This is 7 levels.
Okay, so here's the screws that were in those hinges, this little guy here, and here's what we're putting in. Obviously way more beefy, and then we're going to bring screws that come in this way to heal up these portions of the wood right here to seal everything back up, because you can see it's just all sorts of torn up and dry rotted in there. Okay, so now we've got this fairly well stabilized with screws coming in that way. Heavy duty screws in the hinges. We've got screws coming in this way to go ahead and capture all that. Now let's show what the cause of the problem is here. See how the marble hits that doorstop and then tries to pull that hinge out? See it right here. See how it's trying to peel that piece back right here? That's what's caused all of it. Okay, so this is a solid cast iron plate, and we had to drill this hole down through there and then into the concrete a little bit. But now we're lined up and this thing's working good. Locks down into there. Now this side's pretty much taken care of. We're just going to do a hinge doctor on that side and adjust the hinges. This portion is brought to you by the Hinge Tweaker, Hinge Realignment and Saver Tool. Alrighty, this is the Hinge Tweaker. Okay, you can see right there, made in the USA, and it is designed to go over the hinge just like this right here. And what happens is if you have sagging doors and you have a large gap on one side, it's going to pull that gap over here and actually tighten it and re-swedge that hinge just by pulling on this and pulling in towards the door. That's the motion we're doing, is in towards the door. And it's actually going to pull this whole door up. It's going to solve the dragging issue at the bottom. It's going to solve the alignment issue at the top. You notice how we make that adjustment, and now look at how pulled tight this is up here. It's no longer dragging on the bottom. You'll notice I also have an airbag under there that's helping push and take the weight of the doors off of the hinge itself so that the hinge actually gets the maximum adjustment. I find that if you use the airbags to push the door up, and if you can, I can't get one in here because we have the overlap. If you can get one to push the door over this way, it actually helps the adjustment and re-swedging the hinge. I've already done it down here, and you can see how that hinge is just completely tucked back in and it doesn't have that gap, okay? Doing the airbag process helps it. It's not required, but it definitely aids in the process. And now this door has been repaired and it solves all of the alignment issues and it solves the root causes that actually were the main problems with this door. This one's a little fun. How do we get this off of here? No screws. Aha. Oh wait, there's more. There's always a way to get into them. Alrighty, so now this side is working much better. We got that hinge tweaker on there and got the hinges all pulled back up. Then we addressed here, we screwed everything in to rebuild that board because I cannot rebuild all of that right here, right now. It's going to take a contractor to eventually do that. Then you come in, you notice that it's not pulling on the other door. Everything's working fine. Then we come inside, and now this side goes and locks directly into here. Then you can unlock it, unlock the top, and the door comes open. We've taken that arm off. That arm was contributing to the breaking of this door. Okay, so we've got those long flush bolts that go up and down. And then this is all that broken rot stuff. Eventually, that's going to have to be replaced by a contractor. This is a Band-Aid on this gunshot wound. But we've got the main components, so it's not going to get any worse. Getting that off, getting this new hole drilled in so that they can actually close and physically lock the building. And then you can see locks are working just fine. So now everything has been taken care of on this door as much as possible with hinge adjustments, rekeys, screwing the frame and structure back in, and most importantly, we need to try and leave this door closed and locked as much as possible. Every time this door is open, the wind is going to catch, and that's going to keep putting pressure on everything that we just repaired, which is going to destroy everything. This side is looking really good and solid. It'd be nice to have a door stop out here, but you can see it's not putting nearly as much pressure on this location, and this isn't all broke apart like on the other side. So there it is, all fixed, all repaired, ready to go. This portion of the documentary is brought to you by Pack Blue Simplified Access Control. Check them out at packlock.com. Oh, and today we're going to be installing the open locked indicator lock from Arrow. This is a cylindrical lever set that will come out of your box looking just like this. We're going to do a quick parts check to make sure you have all of the pieces. You should come with a strike plate, just like so. You may or may not need that depending on which installation you're doing. If you're doing a retrofit, you may not need it. You're going to come with a detent tool or a lever release tool, 2 mounting screws. These are the long threaded screws. This is a privacy latch. Notice that it does not have a dead latch, but it's a commercial grade 2 3/4 inch back set latch. This rosette cover and 2 mounting screws for the latch right here, along with the lock and the chassis. So the first thing that we need to do to get started, and the only tool that you should need, is a Phillips head screwdriver like this one right here. A hand screwdriver is preferred as opposed to a impact driver or a drill. Those tend to strip screws if you are not careful with them. So the first thing that we're doing is we're hitting this detent with this little tool here. That's what releases the lever off, just like we showed. Notice how when I take this off, this part that points out is going towards the lever side. That's going to be important later. So now that we have that all pulled apart and we know that we have all of our parts, I'm then going to turn it up so that we can see this portion right here that's cut out specifically for this latch. This is just kind of a model block that we have here at the shop. Make sure that your back set is correct. You'll know your back set is correct if you have the latch here, and this is a 2 3/4 inch back set, commercial grade lever prep back set on a 1 3/4 inch door. If your door is thinner and non-commercial, meaning 1 3/8, then you may have some issues with this lock set working. Also, if you have the shorter back set that is 2 3/8, you'll see way more of this lock body in that hole. It'll look something more along the lines of this as opposed to this. So that's what you need. Those little tabs should just barely stick out when you're doing this. Now we're going to go ahead and mount the mounting screws in. Again, hand screwdriver is always going to be best so that we don't strip these out. If these holes are stripped out and you're doing a retrofit, you want to take the time to go ahead and fill those, or make sure that you have a good bite. It's not going to do any good to install this lock if the screws are not able to be tightened. The next thing that we're going to do is, this is considered the secure side of the lock, where we have the actual indicator at, and I'm going to make sure that that is on the flat side of the latch. So flat side, secure side. Notice how when I go to bring this together, we can see how the latch is going to engage nicely with the chassis of the lock, and you can see how that portion just sticks right inside there. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now I'm going to take this portion, and remember, we noticed this tab right here sticking out. That's going to go back towards the lever side. So we've got the tab and lever here. Now I'm going to take a mounting screw, and with our mounting screw, I'm going to put the top mounting screw in and actually just kind of get it started hand tight. That's all we really need for right now. Okay. I don't want to tighten and crank anything down just yet because I want to make sure that everything lines up. I'm also going to give this a test pull and make sure that it's retracting the latch and there's no binding from either side. I'm then going to go ahead and tighten this side up as well. Put this down. Snug things up. Every time I tighten something, I go ahead and make sure that we're getting latch retraction, which we are. Sometimes you can tighten quite literally just a half or a quarter turn and it'll create binding to where that latch does not come back out. Now I'm going to snug both of these up, and then again I'm going to go ahead and test it. Pops out just fine. Pops out just fine. And I'm also going to test pushing the lever in and making sure the indicator holds and lets go from the inside. Everything is working great so far. I'm then going to pop this portion on. You can see we've got this little indent here and we've got a small indentation right here. So that's going to go together just like so. Notice how I insert on and then rotate down. Again, you can see where that little portion that's dented in is going to kind of click and ratchet down into place. That keeps it from getting loose. Then we're going to just simply take the handle, put it on, install it, and you have completely successfully installed the Arrow privacy locked or unlocked indicator lock. And it works from both sides. Again, I'm going to test it. I'm going to push the button in. Pushing the button in is what makes it go into the lock position. Somebody touches the handle, it doesn't open. Okay. For safety purposes, this is not a secure lock. This is just privacy, so you can use a flat blade screwdriver to unlock it, or you can even use something as simple as a coin. Okay, there it goes. And that is a successful installation of the Arrow open locked indicator cylindrical lever set. For more information, check out the website below. Thanks for watching. That concludes this episode. If you'd be interested in sponsoring the program, check out the website below. If you're interested in becoming a locksmith, check out wayneslockshop.com. Thank you for watching.